Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon, I'm joined by Ivan Anderson and Trevor Nel, who is they're from the virtual trade fair. And they're going to talk a little bit about that event, an event they got coming up soon. And also, they're going to have a little chat about business, networking, and all that sort of thing. How are you doing today, guys? You okay?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, and thanks for having us on your podcast.
No problem.
Very good. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for coming on. Who wants to go first in telling us a little bit more about the virtual trade fair and what it's all about?
Sure, Mike. Thanks. I'll do that. I can pick up there. So, yeah, Trevor Nel and myself are founding members of the Four Ways Community Chamber of Commerce. Trevor's our CEO. I'm the techie in the background, and but one of the founding members. And yeah, back at the beginning of lockdown in South Africa, which was the 27th of March, we were set up to do a physical trade fair for our members. And obviously, lockdown came down hard on all of us, and especially the expo, the expo industry. They just their businesses just ran into a brick wall. Everything just stopped immediately, and so it was quite a shocking experience for those members and so on. And so we sat down, we had a chat, we had some strategy. In 21 days, we put together this idea and this concept of the virtual trade fair. Initial one was called Virtual Trade Fair.Africa. That we set up, we planned and we launched. It was on the 19th to the 22nd of June, 4-day event, absolutely amazing event. We were blown away by the response, by the participation. We had 4 days, 8 speaking sessions on each day, so 32 speaking sessions during the 4 days. We had over 100 exhibitors with their stalls and booths with their products and services, and exhibition stands. We had some amazing 3D exhibition stands set up with hotspots where visitors could click through to find out more, to contact exhibitors, to download digital material and the like. And yeah, we were stunned at the success of that event. I mean, it was done from a zero base, from a zero knowledge of online events and online hosting. It was put together by just a team of entrepreneurs here in Johannesburg, and coming together in a collaboration, just leveraging our spare capacity, our spare resources, and our time to put this thing together. And it went global. We had speakers from Bali, from the UK, from the US, from Australia. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, and stunning inputs and content from everybody involved. So that was extremely exciting. So post that event, we thought, well, what next? What happens now? And then we started getting people sort of knocking on our virtual door, as it were. We had people coming in from around the world saying, gee, we heard about you guys and this event that you did, would you be able to do that for us as well? So we had some interesting discussions with a variety of organizations from all over the world looking to do similar events, because people, I think, were scratching. Lockdown globally, I think, had a massive impact on business, and people were just not sure where to turn and where to go. And here we were, out of deepest, darkest Africa, just doing stuff that people hadn't thought of and hadn't, well, they might have thought of it, but they hadn't got down to actually doing it. And we just did it. That's the kind of operation, the kind of people we are. We just like to get things done and make it happen. And Trevor's analogy of us building an airplane as we were flying it, I think, is the way it sort of works. We sort of working out how this thing's actually going to fly and how it's going to work, and that's what happened. And then we had a second event on the 24th of July. That was our Wisdom's Global Summit. Wisdom's is an organization that Trevor and I are partners in as well. It's a training and education organization focused on personal and business success. And we thought, well, we've done it for the trade fair, for the community chamber. Let's do it for Wisdom. So again, we put together. We had 8 amazing speakers that day. Again, global, from around the world. One from New Zealand, one from Perth, again from Bali, the UK, and the US, as well as a number of our local South African speakers. And yeah, it was again an amazing day, just of real quality input. And so that's encouraged us to do this next event. So and we've taken that now and we've said, let's go virtual trade fair.global. It's time we've gone global anyway with our .Africa, but we decided we might as well call it .global. So virtual trade fair.global is coming up on the 24th of September. So it's only a week and a bit away from us now. But it's already looking exciting again. A day packed full of quality speakers, 10 speakers during the day, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, running through to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the evening. That's South African time. So for all your global listeners and local UK listeners, that's GMT +2. I think we're still currently an hour ahead of you in the UK, and yeah, so it's going to be an excellent day. Our keynote speaker kicks off the day is our very own Michael Jackson from South Africa. He's a world known speaker. I mean, he's been on the circuit since the 90s, traveling internationally, up to 160 keynotes a year that he does around the world, and he's opening the event. So it's a real privilege for us. And as I say, then we've got speakers from around the world coming in to follow up. So it's going to be, again, a quality day from content perspective, from information perspective, from thought leaders in where to and how to from this global pandemic situation. And then there's going to be all the businesses exhibiting their products and services again. And again, those guys are coming on board. They're getting their stalls up and running, and we'd really just like to put the message out there to everybody who listens to your podcast to just get on board. Get to virtualtradefair.global, have a look at the exhibitor registration page. We've made it extremely simple. We've made it easy for people to get involved. There's absolutely no reason not to get involved. Whether you can afford to pay for it or not, it doesn't matter. We've made an option that will suit you and suit your budget and suit your business. So really, the invitation is just open. Come on board, get involved. Let's make it a global day and really have some fun and do some business. I think is our motto. We want to do things and make things happen. The theme for the day is rebuilding a shattered economy, and I think that's something that resonates with businesses around the world at the moment. So. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, from my side, Mike, that's what we've done and what we're doing, and as I say, we really appreciate the opportunity to chat to you and chat to your viewers and listeners on your podcast here, and hope they can get involved.
Yeah, brilliant, and actually, you're right. I had the same idea that you had at exactly the same time. Yeah, once the real world events shut down, because I've been involved in real world events for 8 years myself, working with partners. And as soon as that happened, I was thinking, right, somebody's going to have to start doing these events online quickly. And I had the idea, but you were actually putting the technology and the systems in place. So well done for that, because ideas are okay on their own, but without action they don't come off. And I didn't have the technology team in place, if you like, to do what you've done. But it sounds like you've done a great job, to get those two events pulled off, and then to have another one lined up. Meant to I know there's a lot of IT resources involved in that. So, maybe you had a bit more of the perfect storm to pull that off. But well done. I was actually looking for people to come up with better versions of Zooms and these online platforms in order to potentially, do those events or an event myself. But for you to build one, and in such short time is really great. So kudos to you for that. And actually then to take it global, well, it's because this sort of event is needed globally. It's something that, businesses all around the world at this moment in time need to pull together and to collaborate and to network and to find a way out of this problem, whichever, way that is. So I think what you're doing is fab. And, keep up the great work. Obviously, you've mentioned for exhibitors that you need... people can exhibit, and that's great. Are you also looking for sponsors and other people who are looking to get involved in other ways?
Absolutely, Mike. Yeah, we'd love some of the corporates that do have some resources and would like to be headlined in that to come up and sponsor. So absolutely, sponsorship would really make a huge difference to this event. As I say, because essentially the chamber and the team behind it has sponsored this 100%. We sponsored the first event 100% as well. We made it completely free to everybody to join. This event, we put a sticker price on the exhibits of £500 or $500, but we've said, we understand people may not be able to afford that. So what we're really asking is for people just to stand up and say, look, we'd love to be part of this. We're prepared to commit to you guys in the same way you're committing to us. And just invite your colleagues, invite your customers, and invite your suppliers, invite your connections to be part of it, and make that your commitment to us. If you don't have the £500 or $500, that's we understand that given the current economic climate around the world, if you do have it, we'd really appreciate it. It does help keep the wheels turning and so on. But I think we're really looking to sponsors to say, listen, guys, what you're doing here is amazing. You're getting some energy back into the economy. You're providing a platform for entrepreneurs and businesses, to showcase their products to the world. And we'd love to support that. So, we're hoping we can find some sponsors who understand where we're heading with this and are prepared to back us and support us on the event and the events going forward, because this is certainly not going to be our last event. We see this rolling out on a fairly regular basis, and our objective is to really make it bigger and better and without getting complicated. And I think that's one of the keys. You spoke about people who who are looking for the sort of perfect solutions, and in this world, in this economy, and in this game, there's no such thing as a perfect solution. You just got to get down and do it and make things happen. And I think really that's what we've done. We've cobbled solutions together. They've worked extremely well. We've kept it lean, we've kept it mean, and we plan to do it that way. There's lots of fancy tech out there now, but is it necessary to provide the experience, to provide the interaction? And I'm yet to be convinced that it is. I think what we've done is proven our methodology and proven our commitment to the marketplace. So we'd love people to recognize that and come on board.
Yeah, brilliant. And how many people, I don't know if you want to answer this, Trev, or not, but how many people are expected on the event? So obviously those interested in sponsoring will have an idea of how many people you might get.
Mike, listen, if sneezers like you actually take the news out to the marketplace, the world is our oyster here. So we've put the plane together. And listen, what I want to do is just give recognition to the individual that makes the ideas and the strategies work. So you've just heard for about, maybe 5-6 minutes, an individual who makes things happen. And you correctly identified, there are many people who come up with great ideas, but there are few people who take the ideas and put them into action. I've just got to doff my cap to Ivan Anderson for what he's done. I mean, this thing took 21 days. And it's not just Ivan and the development team that were behind this. Great minds at the chamber. And what we've recognized is that great minds and action-oriented people are sitting everywhere in different pockets all around the world. And it's those people that we're looking to attract. I mean, the top 500 companies in the UK would be fortunate to have a guy like Ivan Anderson just driving their new initiatives. I mean, everyone talks about, will the old normal ever come back? Well, I think this COVID-19 gave us opportunities. And so out of crisis comes phenomenal opportunities, as we've seen here today. So I'd like to suggest you turn around and say, how many people are we going to get? I don't care if we only get 2. The fact of the matter is that in the first couple of weeks, 21 days, we put a template out there that allowed people to reach the world. As a result of that, we connected with people like you. And we've got some of the most fantastic speakers in the world ready to come on board. When we've put this event to bed, and we've probably got in the hundreds, if not more, of exhibitors at the moment. I don't care. If we have 30, if we have 50, if we have 150, that aeroplane has now, that we put together on chewing gum and elastic bands, is now a spaceship that is shooting past the moon at the moment, and we're on our way to Mars. I think we'll get there before Elon Musk. And the trick is for quality entrepreneurs, quality corporates to recognize that it's in the doing that you actually achieve success. And so what we turn around to you is, listen, if you've got the cash, because we know there are major organizations, major enterprises that are sitting on cash, they're twiddling their thumbs at the moment, and they're saying, listen, let's just bide our time to see what's actually gonna happen here. Now is the time to promote your brand. The major brands are out there and they are dominating the marketplace because they're investing in the promotion and marketing right now. Here you've got an organization, a template that is out there that is proven, ready to go. Co-brand with this operation is what I'm suggesting to you. So to me, as the CEO and strategist behind the growth and development, I'm not interested in the numbers. I'm only interested in that we've taken the decision to commit to funding this, making it happen with or without you. Do you want to co-brand with people like ourselves? Hopefully that doesn't answer your question, Mike.
No, it definitely doesn't answer the question, but it poses a number of other questions.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, I think again, you know, where you're going to take this, you know, it's a great time now for sponsors to come on board and actually collaborate with you, because, you know, in the future where this is, it's going to cost a lot more money to get involved then than it will do, you know, now in its earlier stages. So, you know, I can see the vision, I can see where this is going to go, and it's up to other businesses and sponsors to take that leap, if you like, and to get involved now, because it's going to be a lot cheaper than if they want to get involved down the line.
Absolutely, Mike, and I think you hit the nail. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. You know, the point is this is not something that's going away. This is something that is going to grow. It's going to get bigger, and it's going to dovetail and become a hybrid part of physical events. I mean, we all know physical events have their limitations. They have their limitations in terms of space. They have limitations in terms of security. They have the limitations in terms of people traveling to and from these events. They have limitations in terms of when the doors are opened and when the doors are closed. They have all these limitations. Yes, they have the advantage of touch and feel and maybe face-to-face contact that you don't have so much in the virtual world. But the virtual world makes it a world instead of an event in a locality. And I think that's what we're really seeing happening here is we're seeing you know, a development of a whole new industry around an industry that has actually taken a massive smack over the last 6 months. And that smack is not going to pull back rapidly at all. You know, we hear people talking of maybe events next year, perhaps only 2022, you know, and even if they do happen, they're going to be much smaller and more contained and more restricted and more managed. This eliminates all of those issues. Yeah. And it just creates the opportunity for your brands, for your businesses to get their name out far and wide, far faster and far easier than has ever been possible before. And so we're seeing it, as you say, this is the starting point. This is the launch pad. And do you want to be on the launch pad, or do you want to try and catch up once we're 3/4 of the way to Mars? Because then it's going to cost you a lot of money to get on board then.
Yeah, brilliant.
Try and catch up to us.
Something to add as well, haven't you, Trevor?
Yes, and what I think people must be aware of, and corporate strategists, and especially you know, up and coming startup business entrepreneurs, do not think that when people talk about the old normal is gone and there's now a new normal, that there's a complete flip of everything. Life doesn't work that way. So what I think is going to happen is many people are going to try and get back to the old ways as best as they can. But what has been set for us as an example of why you've got to have alternative systems in place in the event of a major crisis happening like this. So the futurists are predicting that we're going to have more and more crises coming at us faster and faster. And you will have heard some of these futurists talking about how you've got to 10x, or you've got to think 10 times exponentially where you were thinking before. Now, you will notice that I don't know how to spell numerically on my cap. So when 2020 came on board, we at the chamber turned around and said 10x is too slow for us. So at the beginning of 2020, we decided to 20x everything that we did. And that 21-day experience came out of the philosophy of speed. Speed is absolutely essential today. And what we did in 21 days is so blooming slow now, 150 days later, that next year we're going to do 21x. So I'm already trademarking it in case anyone wants to steal my brand cap for next year. So the point being that very quickly, you've got to jump on board. And the key word is hybrid. Think of what your great skills are, what your great resources are. Look at you. I mean, we didn't know who you were 150 odd days ago. This COVID happened, and then suddenly, because we were connecting all around the world, we met this guy, Mark Armstrong. He blew us away. And why he blew us away is that he turned around and said, you know what, one of my objectives is I want to conquer the world as a professional speaker. And we got so excited about that we turned around and said, well, look, what is it that you do well? Well, I'm into podcasting. Have a look at it. What are we not into? We are not into podcasting. So do we go and reinvent the wheel, or do we work with a guy like Mark Armstrong that we didn't even know 180 days ago and say, okay, well, let's get on a journey. You tie yourself onto our spaceship. We'll tie ourselves onto your spaceship. One of them may work. But what happens if we get 20x guys that think like us and we all tie ourselves to 20x different spaceships? What are the chances of success? Blooming good.
20
Hybrid.
20 times greater.
Exactly.
At least.
Yep.
Yeah. At least,
and that's, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And also, just for those listeners and viewers on my YouTube channel, this software that you built and put together, and I've done a number of events on since, it's also available for other people who want to do events, whether they be corporates or event companies or whatever. It's also available for them, and they can actually hire in an event team at the same time as well. So all of these real world events that they used to do and can't do anymore, they could either spend some time building the rocket and putting their own platform together, or instead of wasting those 21 long days, they could actually just contact you, spend 21 minutes chatting with you, and actually put the software and the events team in place so they can start doing their
21
events
minutes
straight away.
Listen, yeah, Mike, don't phone me. 21 minutes is too long. If you can't take a decision in 21 seconds that you want to be part of this, you're not the type of person we want to talk to. There are millions of people now, 150, 167 days of lockdown later, that are absolutely convinced that this virtual conferencing is the way they want to go. And so there's a whole huge market. Now you can sit back and try and think about and do all the stats, or you can actually come with us and start flying around in the spaceship and enjoying the ride. And let me tell you, we've taken all the risk. There's no risk for people that are coming in to co-brand. Your risk is to actually not be doing anything in this marketplace. And I'd like to add to this, and Ivan can then take on what excited him about the international markets and how they regarded us. Within about, it was instantly, within a day or two of our first event, we had people from overseas coming back to us saying, hey, listen, give us some quotes, please. We'd like to find out what you're doing, how you're doing, and all this sort of thing. And these are what we've been looking at. How do you compare to those? So, you know what? We never ever went out and tried to compare ourselves to anyone. We said, how do we get the simplest way for people to actually connect with other people and do business in an environment where everyone is locked down? So we started from that particular point of view. Then we started asking ourselves, well, why is it that all these people are coming to us? How come? So all of a sudden, we were sitting here in Johannesburg where people think they're lions and elephants and rhinos and warthogs running in the streets. How come we're suddenly the leaders in this type of environment? And I never even knew how to communicate on a cell phone. I need my 11-year-old daughter how to do this, tell me how to do this. How come we're the leaders in it? And my view is we were the only horse in the race. So people were sitting down during lockdown and they said, okay, well, let's wait till this whole thing is over. And it never got over, and it kept on moving down. And they moved a lot later than we were. So as a result, we were the only horse in the race, and that's why people were contacting us back. And now people have the ability to work with a simple platform like that. Just as you've recognized, contact us, connect with us. Let's do something. It's simple, it's effective.
Yeah. How do they, if they want to have a look at what the system looks like or anything like that? Because like you say, some people want to compare it against other things they've seen. How do they get to do that?
Mike, it's simple. Get onto virtualtradefair.global and be part of the show. It's all there. It's all available to be seen. They can get on it. If they're really serious about talking to us, they can contact us via the website. There's the contact forms and everything. All the details are there. But we're on display. We're not hiding anything. We're not saying, contact us and we'll give you a quote after this and after that and after that. No, we don't operate that way. We just say, here we are. This is who we are. This is how we do it. We're not ducking and diving behind term contracts and issues and terms and conditions and those sorts of things. We're on display. We put ourselves on display. We put ourselves on test, and we've come through that test with flying colors, we believe. I mean, that may be the opinion of one, I don't know, but I think certainly.
No, it's an opinion of two. But listen, the person that you want to be most confident in the plane and the spaceship is the pilot. Because if they don't have the confidence in what they're doing and that they've been testing, you're a goner. Right, and then it's not just two. We have an entire team behind us that were part of this process. That's the excitement. And the other thing is, now we're out there global. And anyone looking at this, we're in lockdown. We should not be able to do business. But we're actually doing business globally, and we're doing more business than we were doing before, about 160, 170 odd days ago. The world has just opened up. It's our oyster.
Yeah, that's where 20x thinking and big picture thinking comes from. Is when, as everyone else was sat around waiting for the lockdown to open up, you were 20 times thinking, okay, well, we can get something built in 21 days and pivot our business, and that's where big thinking comes from. Rather than actually see the obstacle and then get stuck behind the obstacle. It's just like, okay, see the opportunity in the obstacle and work out how can I change direction and go past the obstacle. So well done for that. It's fantastic. I know you're very busy guys, so I want to say thank you very much for coming on my podcast and for sharing some information about your story, your event, and the opportunities that are with the event and synergy events, elsewhere as well. So I'll get sharing this on my podcast, on my YouTube, and all my social media, and hopefully it'll make a difference, and you'll get some positive feedback and response. I'll also speak to some people who I know are in this space as well, and send them your way too. So keep up the great work, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Brilliant.